early in the morning. It's about 5:30. Got to get some stuff done, otherwise I'm not going to get it done, because obviously no one's in until the last day of this week. Ready to go, Brucey? Oh, street light's just gone off. Let's go. I've opened up the boot. Bruce can't fit in because got all that stuff. Oh, blow. Well, that's not something you usually see. He's on the back seat. I never put him on the back seat. Ugh, here we are. Why am I doing that? He's not even in there. Such a habit. There he is there. Ah. Okay. Bruce, here. Come here. Ran across the road. Would have got killed by a car. There's one coming. Okay. Right. Well, at least I did bits and bobs on the... Picked all this stuff on the on Saturday, even though I couldn't use FedEx because FedEx was down. See you guys in a bit. Well, I haven't really been filming much. It's now 4:30. I'm just finishing up the Royal Mail, so we got a little Royal Mail stuff. I'm just literally finishing it up. I forgot I haven't really filmed, but it's just been flat out, obviously. So, yeah, there might be a bit more footage for today, but yeah, again, it is what it is. Catch you guys in a bit, because Royal Mail is going to be here in about 15-20 minutes. Right, it is 10:20 at night. I am now going. Power cut? No, not a power cut. But that is the end of today. I need to turn off the printers. I will see you guys, all being well, I will see you guys tomorrow. I wonder what other sort of adventures will ensue. Anything could happen, couldn't it? Who knows? Vlog's just gone up anyway. At least it went up today. What was the day today? Forgotten what the day is even. Never mind. Who cares? Right. See you tomorrow. Good morning. There's a Bruce Meister licking up some other dog's urine. Leave. What a filthy animal. Disgusting. He's alright though. Dogs. Right, look at this. Love massive trees like that. Beautiful things. Look at that. Let's get in there, that one. Be very sweet. There's the beast. Whoosh. Come on, let's go. Let's go to work. Do 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 do. Okay. Here. Ah, don't run off. Good boy. This way. Don't look so forlorn. Morning. Of course. No one in. Do 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 do. It is 27. I have just fitted a daylight bulb in there, 2 of them. I'm not sure about that light at all. It looks a bit strange, if I'm honest. So I fitted 2 yesterday that I found, and it reminded me. I found them in the warehouse I was picking, and so I've ordered a load of them to redo the lights. In fact, it gets better than that because there's all the boxes of them. I'm flipping loads of the things because there's loads of lights out, and they're expensive for one, and these are flipping expensive to buy as well, even the Amazon basic ones. So yeah, I'm not that sure about the light, to be honest, but I suppose I'll get used to it. Anyway, I've still got loads to do. I ain't leaving now for at least another hour, but I do have to be back. I have to be back home at 7:30, so yeah, I'm gonna have to carry on while I'm there with things. So it's very bright sat here now, like super bright. I need to get that one there as well. So they're all at half slip, just because they're so expensive to run. Every single one is half. They just turn, so the bulbs are probably right in them, but it's half the running cost. did it across the whole warehouse at one point. So everything, in fact that's weird, in this light it looks like that's full. It isn't full at all, it's half. Of course these things are next to nothing in terms of wattage, so I'm going to replace a few key ones is the idea. I'll have some spare. This is pretty cool. So Sherman tyre, street tyre, Sherman off-road tyre, Sherman rear light unit, a couple of mud guards, Sherman mud guard as well. Speedy Feet stickers of course. Goo and shine. Rhino goo and shine. That stuff is so awesome. That's what I clean the motorbike with and my car. And that just makes it look brand new once you're finished. So yeah, now I need to find a box big enough for these flipping tyres. Right, okay. I am going. It is now 18 minutes past. The frustrating thing is, okay, I've actually got stuff stuck in the lift. The lift is not working. It's still not freed. But if it's 20 past 7, it's not freed. Don't think it's going to be freed anytime soon. Hopefully, there's some honesty because there's an electric trials bike in there. So I'm kind of hoping there's a bit of honesty involved. It's just put aside nicely for me. Hopefully. Door's getting stickier and stickier. More bags, please. Still haven't left any. Great. See you guys tomorrow. Ooh. Okay, this way. Good boy. Let's do it. Oh, come on, Lucy. Let's do it. Well, it is 6:45, and I need to go, don't I? No filming today, just picking, packing, and doing loads and loads of admin work in between doing that. So, oh, printed one side on the 3D printer as well, which is pretty neat. And it was just enough, look. So I got that much left on it. Look at that. How cool is that? So it actually finished that quite nicely. So tomorrow I'll put another one on. It'll run out within like 15-20 minutes, something like that, maybe half an hour. And then I can set another roll on there. Right. I will see you guys tomorrow. All being well. Good morning. It is 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Can I get my stuff together? We are in Mitch. Today is a day of going to Escape. Well, not entirely, of course. Today is a day of paintball, Speedy Feet and Escape. Unique day. Where I go to Escape. We have got this door's so annoying now. It's a bit broken. The right way round, mine just doesn't let people in, but super stubborn. There's a lot of issues with scooters being seized and people's wheels being taken from them. There's like more reports building up. As far as I can see, all stems from this scooter scheme that they've been running for the last year and a bit. To just sort of sending shockwaves through the industry, well, within the UK, which is a piddly little industry in comparison to a lot of countries. But it ain't good. It's not good. Which is a bit of a shame, really. It's kind of ruining the whole thing. And so, kind of need to do something about it, but kind of also powerless to do anything about it. but pretty sure, you know, if you think about something long enough and hard enough, you start to formulate some solution to the problem, essentially. And so I've tried to be giving it some thought on what to do, but it's not just one issue. It is multiple issues. Part of the reason that things slowed down with Speedy Feet is also because you can't get anything in. So a lot of the ports in China are operating, you may have heard on the radio, like drips and drabs, but you may not, your ears may not prick up because it's not relevant to you. That's what tends to happen with news. You only hear the news that's actually relevant to you. You don't seek news that's irrelevant, do you? Quite naturally. Well, you can't get stuff in. And it's compounded. It's a compounded problem because also, and it's a bit like in the UK at the moment, there's not enough lorry drivers. But it's not just lorry drivers, it's also crane operators. So when they're loading the shipping containers, haven't got the operators. The stringent rules in place have killed everything. Are killing everything. So yeah, it's a fairly major problem. Not only have we got the seizure of stuff, which puts fear into people, you know, not like there's any other crime, actual crime going on. You can run around and seize wheels off people who've been riding for, you know, the last couple of years. They're riding really, really sensibly. Chap called Andrew, customer of ours actually, in Cheltenham, he got his seized. But essentially what I would say is like a gang really. They come round, unmarked police car, assume they actually are the police. So you can't ride that on the road, take it off him, no right for an appeal, no recourse to be able to say, well, I want to fight this and I want that back please. They just took it off him, for all intents and purposes. But they did him the amazing favour of not giving him points on his licence, and oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Not giving him points on his licence and letting him go free, but they took his 1,800 quid wheel. So there's a lot of that going on at the moment. So you've got the supply issues, and you've got seizure of wheels. So we need to come up with some sort of solution, really, to fight both those. What can you do though? Because you can't make big boats move in China to bring all these manufacturers across. It's fairly bespoke stuff, isn't it? It's in such small quantity and comparatively to the trade that's being done every single day. It's piddly. It's like nothing. The wheel industry and the scooter industry, even in the UK, is, yeah, it's pretty pathetic. You're talking to other, this is why you get not exactly treated very well by suppliers in China, because people are ordering, you know, tens of thousands of things, and the UK orders thousands or hundreds. So not particularly, and money talks. So that's a common thing. You might think people are your friend, these sort of suppliers. You think, I get on real well with supplier, but it's really money. So if you're not spending big money, they're not really going to give you much time of day, I suppose. So the whole thing is pretty precarious at the moment. I mean, one way around, so the supply issues you can't stop. In terms of demand, or people having confidence in buying a wheel and not having it seized, you can't really do a lot about that, because it's one thing that we've learnt over the last 18 months at least, is that the government don't really give two hoots about any rights you've got. And coupled with that, the sad realisation that no one will really stand up and do anything about it. Not to be called to account, as it were. They'll just, en masse, sit back, have a moan privately, and not be called to action. Lackadaisical or unable to formulate anything to fight back against certain loss of rights. And they've realised that they can just walk over people. They just make decisions at 10 minutes to midnight and change some law without any concern really for what that actually means, the implications, long-term implications. Short-term gains are, get this out, short-term gains aren't usually very beneficial in almost every walk of life. And so I'm not sure the government are really going to listen to us saying, we should be able to ride these things around. I would love that. I'd love it if you get them convinced that this toy, this silly little thing, this little wheel, I'm thinking like the government here, or how I imagine them to be. Maybe I'm being totally unfair. Yeah, this thing, this is amazing. Yeah, we need to legislate this rapidly. We need to get this sorted. Yeah, I just can't see it, sadly. So to build confidence, you could just slash your prices. Now, I've already mentioned short-term gains. You can't really operate like that. Not really. You can slash them, definitely can, and you can survive several years with low pricing model. But the issue is, of course, you run into immediately is when supply is sparse, you'll be paying more. So you have to put your prices up. So all the suppliers now, whereas we're in a position where we've been absorbing some of that cost, if you're running right close to the bone, then you either have to make a loss for a period of time, sell things at a loss, or do the horrible thing of increasing your pricing. So that doesn't really work. And secondly, it's very, very difficult to offer the backup that you need. We're struggling with backup at the moment because we can't get the parts. So that's a bit of a pain in the ass. For example, we ordered some Gotway bits and bobs, some Emotion bits and bobs. These are parts to help customers out, warranty things. Man, must be 5 months ago, 4 months ago. Yeah, and it's still not here. Still no sign of them arriving either. So in short, supply issues. It's been supply issues and a degraded market, I would have said, from what I think is the reluctance to move when there's so many people running into issues, should we say, riding wheels around. Now traditionally it's never been an issue. Back in 2014, 15, even the 1,000 miler we did, no issue. We were able to travel from here, so England, Wales, Southern Ireland, East Coast of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, down through all Yorkshire, etc. It's like saw loads of police, no issue. And so just from the experience, really, up until very recently, you're talking the last 2 years, but really it's the last 6 months-ish, maybe slightly more, where there's a definite uplift in people getting into problems. So, yeah, I've got to try and think of some way, but it's a lot of things out of my control, some way of trying to, I don't know, counter that in some respect. Now, prior to that, we were essentially all riding around. There's a lot of riders. I mean, we saw a lot of wheels since 2014 who just riding around because that's actually not really a problem. Maybe it's a grey area kind of things with the thinking that, but we're not actually doing anything wrong. It's not a problem. It's very similar to paintball in the fact that paintball guns are called guns for one. So people go, oh my goodness, you've got guns. But it's like, well, it's not actually a gun. And they say, oh, it really looks like a gun. Yeah, some of them look really like a gun. But they aren't actually guns though. And the people from the outside would look and go, what if someone took that into a bank and wanted to rob a bank with it? And you go, yeah, it would look just like it would look like a gun. Yeah, it would to anyone watching. Similar to the fact that if you get a banana and put a cloth over it, and you walk in and you shout really loudly and say, "Go on!" People would assume that you've got a gun, not a banana. This does actually look like a gun though, but same end result. You could threaten people with it. But in actual real life, like with the unicycles, if you said, well, what if you hit someone with that? It's 40 kilograms. You're going 25 miles an hour. You could kill them. So yeah, you could. You could definitely, yeah, you could kill them. Serious injury. But that's like taking the most extreme eventuality and then blanket applying it to everything. And that tends to be the way, and especially newspapers and stuff with the wheels, it's always slanted. And I've seen the same with electric cars. You know, they're, oh my goodness, the battery is going to be, you're going to spend £20,000 getting a battery replaced in 5 years' time. And of course, in reality, no, that's just not true. I mean, I've had electric cars since 2014, yeah, as well. It's just not true. We've not seen really any battery degradation. So take those 3 examples there. They're always taken to the absolute extreme. That's what's always reported on. And that's where all the buzz gets going. And then people who aren't experienced in those areas get involved with their opinions about, oh yeah, that's ridiculous. Like you'd say, that's ridiculous riding a wheel on the road. That's just stupid. It's so dangerous. And you're thinking, everyone who rides them is thinking, what are you on about? But the voice of everyone who rides them is substantially smaller than the voice of those who've just got an opinion, because everyone's got an opinion. And so when a national newspaper pumps something out about someone getting pulled over on a scooter or an electric unicycle, whatever, there's a lot, thousands of comments about how stupid the whole thing is. And there's a small number of us who are reading it going, oh my goodness, why is there so much hatred towards it? You see the same with electric cars, which of course eventually will come mainstream anyway. That's just been forced through by the government. So from that point of view, those are on the right track. The paintball thing is similar to that. It's the same sort of thing. If someone was outside that industry, at the end of the day, a paintball gun, what it does is it fires a gelatin ball filled with paint, and everyone's having a laugh and they're having actual fun, shooting each other. And when you say shooting each other, you think that's terrible. No, it splats on you. It's paint, it hurts, but it's fun. People do it for fun. We ride our wheels for fun, for leisure. We're responsible, and we don't have loads of accidents all the time, running people over and seriously injuring them. Now, are there idiot riders out there? Absolutely. There's people going 50 odd miles an hour. There's loads of videos out there, and even in the UK as well, people go 50 miles an hour, not giving 2 hoots for anything, what it looks like, what it represents, couldn't care less. They're going to be here, ride for a year or 2, and then they'll be gone. And they come and go, but they ruin it for everybody who's just solidly commuting on the wheels, or using them for enjoyment. And so, yes, you get them in the mix, and there are those people. In the same way as with a paintball gun, potentially, yes, someone would do something stupid with one, and it happens, but so minutely rare. And so we've got this extreme end that's been applied to the unicycles at the moment, which is, and scooters. They get muddled in with the same thing. They don't even know what they are. People have commented on it. And so that gets in the papers, and that makes people think, oh, well, I won't. We did have this. We've had this once before, but the impact this time is long lasting. Before we had like a tail off, and that was when the hoverboards came out and they were catching fire. It was basically every single phone call we had, which had a lot of interest. Every single phone call was, yeah, I've seen they've been catching fire on the news. It's like, oh my gosh, they've not been catching fire. We've never had one that's caught fire since 2014. No issues, sold thousands of them, and so that was a bit like the same. It was like but it was just a question mark over whether they catch fire. You could say to people, look, you can't guarantee nothing's going to catch fire, but all I'm saying is nothing has so far of ours, the stuff we've sold. So that kind of, you could alleviate is the right word, I think, their fears. With this, you can't say to them, oh no, don't worry, you're definitely not going to get it seized. All you can really say is, well, that is a small number in comparison to the number of sales, but there's definitely an upward trend in it. And so this almost, you can't extinguish this. It's not like it's not reality. Like them not catching fire is actually a reality. You know, if we've sold thousands of these things and we say, well, we've had 2 catch fire, you can say, well, 1,000, 2 have. We haven't, by the way, I'm just saying as an example. We've had none. So we can actually say we've had none. But if you'd had 2, you could say, well, thousands and 2 have. Yeah, you could just honestly report that. And so with the seizures, you'd have to honestly report the fact that, well, yeah, potentially you just have it taken off you in a day's time. Or you might be able to ride around for years. So I'm still riding around, and I've been riding since 2014, so no issues. It just depends on your location as well. So yeah, a solution needs to be thought of. Jonathan mentioned crowdfunding a campaign, so not just lobbing some text out there saying, oh, we want to fight against this. It needs to be properly orchestrated and built up. So we're having a look into that. Well, he is having a look into that. That needs to be done properly. It's like all these petition things, you're signing things saying, oh, we'll make them legal. It does just squat. I think, as I said earlier, reinforcing that with the last 18 months of the rights that have just been removed for the greater good, as it says. Yeah, the odds of it seem incredibly slim to me. This, don't forget, it's just a nuisance to them, and just something they easier just to say no. It's definitely easier to say no than it is yes, because if they say yes, they have to bring a load of legislation in. Scooter trial is not helping this, because the media calls a frenzy every time someone gets completely off their head and rides out into the centre of the road and gets killed or hit or whatever. Yeah, so that's that. That's where that industry is at the moment in the UK. It's in a bit of a bad spot, really. There's several options. You can shift stock, sell it cheap, but supply is limited, so you can't get that constant supply flowing in anyway, to stack them high and sell them. So yeah, need to think of something more logical, more sustainable than that, because that doesn't really work. It's like short term might work, but long term, like 10-year plan type thing, not really. So right, okie dokie, I've got to move on now and get on with what I came in to do. What am I looking for? One more side. So we got, yeah, that'll run out a bit. We can change it over. Boom. BO. Extra high pressure kit. 2 of those. You do loads of different pressure kits. So boom, 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 boom. We've got like everything. It's ridiculous, the level of stock that you have to be able to fill everything. I'd always vowed with Speedy Feet that it wouldn't get that complicated. You get a box in and you can send it out. It's become that complicated as well. Every screw, nut, bolt, washer, and as I say, it's been made significantly worse by supply issues. But when you start thinking about it, thinking, yeah, you need to have like a left-hand side of something, a right-hand side of something, this colour of something, that style of something. Oh, they've changed the model. Check getting new inner shells because they've changed the way the board fits. It's like, oh my goodness, it's got just as complicated as these. Those parts are £9.13 excluding VAT. So a very cheap part I just picked. So it's essentially a spring and some washers and things for a regulator. But you've got 4 or 5 different pressure types just for one type of regulator. Fun. And sometimes the part's not even £9, so we sell stuff, packed some stuff yesterday that was 50p, something like that, and it's similar in Escape. We'll sell a gas cylinder, talk someone through something for 15-20 minutes, and it will be a gas cylinder for £3. And it's difficult with that, because you, like with Escape, you wouldn't turn over huge amounts. You're not turning over like 1,000 a week type amount, and so it's like with the paintball things, but it's not too bad when it's £9, you know, and someone's bought 2 of them. Don't forget, that's not £9 profit. There's a couple of quid profit in that, probably at the most. So you need to keep that in mind. And so the actual, with the cheap stuff, like the 50p things and the 80p things, run out of waybill pouches. I have asked for some, haven't got any. Yeah, it's very frustrating if you sell something 50p. And what we tend to get, interestingly, what we tend to get with the paintball side, this is, you get people moaning. So we tried to bring in a lot of obscure, cheap parts to help people who had paintball guns to keep them running. And we ended up with people going, oh, why haven't you got this, you haven't got that? It's like, oh my goodness, we only brought them in to help out. So what we've actually done, in all honesty, is we've ran that down, but we bought so much in, probably 10 years ago. We're still selling bits off that, but we're just deleting them, we're not getting them back in again. It's just not. Someone buys something 50p, you have to walk from here to the warehouse and go and get it, and you're making 2p, 3p off it. It's just, actually, you know, we get more hassle than it's worth. So we got rid of those. So yeah. What's really nice is lovely customers send us tea bags. Keeps me running, boys. Keeps me running. Boom. That annoys me. It just sticks to everything. It's like, give it a break, because it doesn't actually stick to boxes when you're trying to tape them up. It's like, nah. No, I don't want to stick to the actual box you're sticking. I'll stick to the product when you put it on the table. Boom. I just love those. I think they're so cool. That's actually Mike. Took a photo of Mike with a revolver and then sent it off to a graphic designer, and then they made that for us, which is pretty sweet. And so we put I can't remember, it's over a certain order value, put it in, it might be, I think, over 30 quid or something like that. Each sticker is about 10 pence. And when you're talking about, it's funny that you have to watch those pennies. You might think, oh, it's inconsequential. This makes a massive, we've given away, I'm trying to think now, man, I could look it up, probably since we've had those made, probably given away at least 5,000, I would have thought, something like that. It's got to be near that figure. 5,000 times 10p. Or is it 8p? I think it's 8p each. Only because we bought so many. This is as well, not having waybill pouches. You have to manually stick stuff down, which is silly and not cost effective. It costs me money on tape and time. So not ideal. BH2. Let's probably turn the lights on in the warehouse, really. BH2. That's the other thing that I've already touched on this week. Here's the lights. Now, yeah, let's turn them on. This is something, I'll briefly mention it, because I got loads of time to stand around talking about lights. Let's have a look. So, here's the light switches. Now, each of these are a row of, what are they of? I can't remember now. But, so this is all the lights on. You can see, so these bulbs here, there's 4 bulbs in each one. Can't remember which row this is. They've either just got, I think they've just gone, those. They probably need doing. But they're over boxes, so we haven't bothered, because it's not lighting anything. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then you've got 1, 2, this isn't the end of the warehouse, because actually there's the studio behind there, but they go on so that way. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 sevens. 7 sevens. Let's go in, work out. I mean, that is. They are 18 watts each. Before I can work that out. This needs changing, it's stopped printing now. Right, let's do that first. Oh no, that's made a real mess of that. Let's just try and take that out. Hopefully that'll work. I'm hoping, but it's made a bit of a mess in there. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see in a few hours time. Right, 18 times... Oh, I need to get this T sorted as well. Do-do-do-do. Boom. Do-do-do-do. So 72 watts per light unit. So in that back warehouse there's 49 light units, 3,500 watts, so 3.5 kilowatts. When they're on, it's burning 3.5 kilowatts. You think about a kettle is burning, well, the one we did on the generator last week's vlog was 2,200. So it's like running 1.5 kettles continuously. So when those light units are on, hence the reason that years ago I halved them, because we don't actually need the full 4. So I just went up there and twisted each of the light units to kick out 50%. So when they're on, they're not all 50%, but imagine they were. Majority I could get to were 1,700 when they're left on. That's a lot of power. That's a lot of power. So yeah, if you left the lights on all night, it's quite a lot of money. 3,500 times 12 hours, however long they're left on for. So yeah. So these other lights, they come out at, what's their wattage? Let's read it on the side just to confirm. Their G13's 8 watts, so they're 8 watts instead of 18, so every single one I'm saving 10. 10 watts per bulb times 4, or 50% if that's the case. Like you can see I've turned these. So that one's not turned, for example. And I haven't added these in either, don't forget. So you've got these lights as well, which actually are on a lot of the time. You can see it's just taking those out. So these are not operational. It feels like you're penny pinching, and then you realise it's pounds and pounds a day just to have the lights on. Yep, genuinely is. Now, the problem with these bulbs, yes, they're saving a fortune. They're really expensive. Even the Amazon Basic ones. So if we ever left this place, I'll be taking them out and putting the other ones back in. But they've got a long shelf life anyway. And a long... I don't mean shelf life, I mean usable life is a lot longer than the other bulbs. So yeah, they should last longer. They almost trip out all the time. So some of these, I started to turn them because they were flickering. You just turn one side and keep the other side on. The problem is now, is that they're a bit of a weird colour. So you can see it's half and half on this one. So half yellow and then a lovely daylight. So, right, anyway, where was I? Picking and packing. 0.43, 1, 2, 3. An issue we get with these, we got 43 rubber balls. You don't tend to get it with those, but with these 50 caliber, these are 50 caliber, so it says cal up there, but it's so small. These are 100 balls, that piece is 100, if you can see that. People get them. It's not all the time, but every now and again they go, sorry, you sent me 250 rather than 500, because they see the 50 rubber balls and then don't see the white text there. You can see why. You look at it quickly, think, oh, 50 rubber balls. It's not. It's cal, 0.50 cal. Good, isn't it? Don't seem to get it with this though. I think it's people must assume, subconsciously must think, well, there's not 43 balls in there, is there? So yeah, interesting. Do. Lum-dee-dum-dee-doo. So we were talking about regulators earlier. We do a regulator. It's called a low pressure regulator. And what it does is, does what it says. It brings the pressure of a tank right down. So, any of you shooters out there that want low pressure, so we're operating with paintball at 3,000, if you're using high pressure air, 3,000 PSI, that's the fill, up to just short of 5,000 psi in the tank, and then it outputs a standard reg would output about 800, 850, whereas this will bring it down super low. And so adjusted it, piston pressure, look, pressure gauge 0 to 160 psi. Adjustment range is from 0 to 160. You see? So it takes something that's say 800 and it will bring it down low. In fact, here is one of those said tanks. HPR system, 48 CI. So it tends to happen is people buy the air tank and there's the regulator on it. And then that screws onto that regulator out. 3,000 psi, output of 800, put that on top, output 0 to 160. I am also running a kids camp this Friday, Saturday, finishing early Sunday morning. Taking the 2 bikes, I'm taking this one. Wop wop, wow, electric, same as this one, but want to get some batteries. Turns out that this one's alright, that connection's fine, but where has it gone? There's a battery that's, it's already out, that's actually busted, so the connector was busted. So I've actually bought 2 new batteries. I'm going to buy new batteries anyway. These batteries are 10 years old, almost 11 years old. They've done remarkably well, to be fair. Still going, but because it's an event and all these kids are going to be having a go, I want to make sure they can actually have a go without it running out. So yeah, I need to sort that out, and it needs to be done today, because today is Thursday and it's tomorrow. So that one's okay, that's all cleaned up and everything seems to be all right. Also doing archery and paintball, so I need to get a load of stuff, and of course wheels. These are going to come out of retirement. Well, one of them's coming out of retirement. Charged it up yesterday, it still holds a charge. That could be the beater because it's already had the handle snapped off. So that's going to be used for the first time, and then I'm going to have the M10 III. I got an RS, I think it is, there as well. So yeah, wheels, paintball guns, archery. Not that MCM5, that's going to be for sale, should be on the site really. Those, and then I've got for archery for the kids, I've got a longbow, which is not going to be really, unless there's a big kid there. It's up to 16-year-olds. We got a bow that my granddad made years ago, so we used to use that when we were kids. And we've got my and John's horseback bows in there. I've then gone out and ordered up, those aren't arrows, those are stakes to mark out. I've actually got some rope to mark out shooting perimeter so you can't go over the line, so we're going to use that to stop them. Got cones for the wheels and trials bikes, box of celebrations for prizes. Oh, you can't really see it, but in there some kids bows, and man, they're in total boxes, so I'm not really sure what cop they're going to be, but for little ones they should be alright. It's a lot of organisation, and I was supposed to be, the backstory to this, I was supposed to be spending this week like in my office at home, planning all this out, putting it all together, putting through a timetable and everything. I mean, it's very, very intricate. Kids events, you have to cover almost basically cover every angle, or make best efforts to. You're not going to foresee absolutely everything. And so yesterday I managed to publish the leaders pack that went out to the leaders, and last week I had put together an information pack of just a list of the things that we're going to be doing and the sort of the general ethos of it. So that went out to everybody else. This though, for the leaders, only done yesterday, so that's why I came in early yesterday to try and get it done, and I finished it. I'd already been doing it bits and bobs during the week, because obviously I wasn't expecting to have everybody off. So it's been quite a challenging time, what with power cuts and things like that. I'm also trying to arrange this camp, so thankfully I'm not also doing the food for this camp, so Miriam is doing that, which is good. But I managed to come in early yesterday, and I finished it, came in, I started on at 6 and finished at 10:20, finished it off. So I hammered that one out. There's a couple of amendments need to be done, which is good, not the whole thing. Turn that off. And so that's done. But yeah, I've still got stuff to do on that, and it's tomorrow, and all this kit needs taking as well as the wheels. And so I've got a lot of stuff to pack up, take away, but that's gonna have to be end of the day. It might be late into the night. So I'll take the camper as well. That'll fit in there, that'll fit in there, that'll all fit in there. I've got to put my own petrol trials bike in for the adults. I've got a load of chairs and stuff to take. It's just mega amount of stuff to take. That tea is gonna be on fire. Wow, okay, yeah, that might be slightly warm, forgot about that. Put that there. Right, anyway, is this now working? Oh, I think it is. Yeah, it appears to be. Well, that's good, that's going. That's corrected itself. Nice. Right, okay. I am off. I've got to go to escape. It's now 6 minutes past 12. So we've passed the cut-off now. That's working well. Getting there. So I'm going to go and pick some stuff out of the overstock. Put that back on. That's done. Put that there and there and there. Go back in here. And I basically need to go through and just check and get some stuff that Sally has sent me a list of to bring back in for the overstock. Hopefully that'll restock the store then. I still need to put loads in. There's loads to do. Like loads and loads. All these individual items that need actually booking in. So yeah, I'm going to try and find them and bring them. That's one thing I need. There's a kettle. Definitely need a kettle. 1 litre aluminium whistling kettle. Right, let me try and find the rest of them. But before I can go, I've got to take stuff that's packed up today. Some of it, not Royal Mail, FedEx side of it. We got a delivery. That's okay. I can send it back up. This is for the kids' camp as well, is it? Please be that. It is. Sweet. That's arrows to go with the little bows. They can have some fun now, which is nice. Oh, and that lift's broken. This one's working. Oh, and it doesn't, this one doesn't, it's got a massive lip on it. If you're not careful, it knocks all the parcels off the trolley. Right pain in the arse. That one, this one here, that, done. My doorstop. Here we go. I'll use this as a pusher. There we go. Right, I've got the park on double yellows to be able to get in. Hopefully that'll be alright. We'll find out, won't we? There's a van. Ooh, flip. There's a van parked there. Ooh. Hopefully it'll be okay. Hello. How you doing? Woo! And we are back in Mitch. I think I should have had some deliveries for the camp, which is good. Sweet. Okay, good.